Hi, I'm the Grimm anchor. Welcome to In Other News.
And in other news, I'm Killy last name.
And in other news, you're an idiot.
Oh,
Clearly.
that's terrible. Why would
But
you say
first news story at the top of the hour is scientists have proven
what have they proven, Grimm anchor?
that drinking bleach will cure the world of all idiots.
That's I tell you what, you want to go and get a drink later?
Yeah.
In other news, I'm gonna trick Grimm into drinking bleach.
In other news, I'm not that dumb.
In other news, you are.
In other news, I think it says here that you're a bitch.
Well, that's funny that you should say that because I have the same thing printed on my paper. It says here that you are a bitch. So, I agree.
I think that news is wrong.
In other news, scientists all around the globe agree that the Earth is flat.
Yes, all around the globe.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. In other news, Grimm needs to learn how to talk. English, preferably.
In other news, English is my second language.
I did not know that about you. That's a fun little fact. You know, that's what I love doing about these newscasts with you, is that I learn new things about you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
It's informative.
Yes. In other news, I have 3 arms.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, well, you shared something about yourself, so I thought I'd share a little something about myself. And that little something is the 3rd arm. It hangs between my legs. Why are you laughing?
In other news, that's the smallest arm I've ever seen.
And in other news, I'm not wearing any pants.
That's the smallest arm I've ever seen.
In other news, I'm still receiving nude photos from your ex-girlfriend.
In other nudes.
Oh, other nudes?
Nudes.
There's more nudes than I've been receiving?
Yes, you want the rest?
Yeah, if you could just send those over my way.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do that.
Yeah. In other news, I am going to be jerking off later tonight.
In other news.
Stop thinking about my arm.
In other news, they've discovered a half man, half alligator, half shark swimming in the sands of the Sahara Desert.
That is a heartbreaking story, and it just breaks my heart to hear that story, because now my heart is broken.
In other news, Killy's heart is broken.
In other news, I still believe in love. In other news, Pee Wee Herman is in talks with a time machine manufacturer. He's gonna go back in time and stop himself from going in that theater and beating his meat.
In other news, Pee Wee Herman was caught jerking his dick outside of a movie theater.
In other news, now there are 2 Pee Wee Hermans due to a time paradox shift.
Yes.
In other news, Grimm agrees.
In other news, yes I do.
In other news, dietitians are saying AIDS is a great way to shed the pounds.
Yes, I've...
In other news, Grimm is trying to say that he has AIDS.
In other news, it's not really news because I posted it on Facebook. I do have a degenerative autoimmune deficiency.
An Ellen DeGeneres autotune?
Yeah.
In other news, Grimm has Ellen DeGeneres autotune syndrome.
In other news, Mr. 8 Legs, aka Gary 8 Legs.
Oh yeah, that's right. His first name is Gary. We never knew that until this until we signed up for this news program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary 8 Legs is a pretty awesome underground artist.
He's pretty awesome. Pretty.
You know, probably the best.
He's pretty. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Probably the best. But
I draw a mean alligator.
yeah, that's true. Grimm Anchor here draws a pretty mean gator. In other news, drawing gators causes grimpotence.
What?
Grimpotence. That's when your name is Grimm and you're unable to achieve an erection.
In other news, holding a stack of papers and tapping them on a desk is a fun way to pass the time.
In other news, I'm actually just staring at a nude photo of... Who is this?
I don't know.
Let's show the home audience. Yeah, I don't know why I have that photo either.
That's gross.
Yeah. In other news, Homo says what?
In other news, what?
In other news... Exactly. And now we'd like to take a quick word from Lunchbox Furgod. He has a lot to say on a hot and pressing topic. Over to you, Lunchbox. Oh, Lunchbox, you're fucking stupid.
In other news, there's a garbage strike all across America. Garbage is refusing to get thrown away. In other news, we're going to go ahead and pass it over to George 8legs.
Oh, yeah, I like Gary.
Yes, he is a health enthusiast and expert, and he is going to tell us a few things to keep ourselves healthy.
I wonder what he's going to tell us today, Grimm.
It'll be interesting for sure.
Wow, thank you guys for that nice pass off there. I'm so enjoying doing this shit. Hello all, this is Mr. 8legs, or, Richard 8legs here, but you can call me Dick for short, or Short Dick for shorter, and to be insulting, but it doesn't bother me, because I don't give a fuck about you. In other news though, I make really good paper sounds without holding any paper. In other news though, a fantastic guaranteed weight loss of the century program, diet program, has been discovered off the coast of Texas. It's basically as simple as this, Lunchbox. Not the nacho ones, cause fuck those things, that salsa tastes like shit. Pizza ones, you gotta get the pizza ones. Not the one with 2 different types of cheese unless you're trying to blow your asshole out. Which nobody wants that unless you want nobody to be around you. But no, it has to be the pepperoni ones. Now back in my day, the pepperonis were fucking huge and you got minimal cheese. But since then, they changed their whole business model. And now it's small pepperonis and a shit ton extra cheese that I don't fucking want. But anyways, what you're gonna wanna do is pick up 30 of those, alright? But you get those, you eat 12 of them daily, and then no water, no juice, no nothing, you just fucking chug 40s. Now, what kind of 40 you may ask? I don't know. I'm partial to Bud Light, but I'm also white trash. You get that, you chug a 40, you eat a Lunchable, you do it back and forth again until you vomit. And then, guess who's looking fit as shit, right? You! Yeah, you! In other news, potatoes have been linked to medicinal suicides in recent future. The potatoes will be legalized though once the official potato Instagram account accepts my fucking follow request. In other news, apparently, Grimm and/or Killy has hacked the teleprompter without making a cutesy 1-week relationship post while doing so. Wow, amazing. In other news, I art. You know what? You don't want to know how I art? I art hard as fuck. Like, I don't think someone can art harder than me. In other news, the teleprompter is saying, you're a bitch. I'm not sure who's it's fucking saying it to, but I would just assume it's both, Grimm and Killy. They're both bitches. And it also says here, I'm not required to hold paper due to my food preferences. But I can sure as fuck make that sound pretty goddamn well, can't I? This has, been Heath 8legs, and I'm gonna pass it back to my buddies at that, anchor desk. Back to you, faggots.
Oh, that was...
That's a knee slapper.
Oh, that James 8legs.
That's so funny. When I get home, I'm gonna punch my wife in the face.
Yeah, hey, that's offensive. We don't want to talk like that, all right? In other news, Grimm is gonna go home tonight and beat his wife. I'm gonna watch.
In other news, yeah, when I get that, happy about a report, that's just what happens.
So in other words, what you're saying is your fist gets a boner.
Well, in other words, my wife's gonna fall down the stairs when I get home, on accident.
In other news, producer extraordinaire Stir Crazy has recently announced that he is now an avid collector of Teletubby action figures.
In other words, he loves dolls.
Yeah. In other news, I often get asked, Killator.
Oh, wait, this just in.
Oh.
Kids with ADD will now be attending concentration camps. In other news, Togo's fucked up my sandwich order again.
God, Grimm,
today.
Tell me about it. You know what they fucking ask me?
What do they ask you?
What do
they have the nerve to ask you?
They have the audacity to say, would you like bread with your sandwich?
Wow, that's kind of weird.
And I tell them I would like a pastrami sandwich, and they go, would you like some kind of meat on the sandwich as well, sir? Remember that time they dropped your sandwich on the floor?
I do.
How did you feel? Tell me about that.
In other news, I was pretty pissed off.
Does this fat make me look fat? That's the question that a lot of Americans are asking each other. The answers will surprise you.
When we return.
After these messages.
I've tried fad diets, powders, pills. Still my weight's been up and down like a yo-yo. Until the AIDS plan taught me how to take off weight and help keep it off.
AIDS may taste like a candy, but AIDS contains one of the most effective appetite suppressants you can buy. And there's no stimulant in AIDS that could make you nervous.
With AIDS, I ate less, so the weight came off. To help keep it off when I sometimes want things loaded with calories, AIDS helps put me in control.
Let the AIDS plan teach you how to take off weight and help keep it off. Try peanut butter AIDS.
And welcome back. That was quite a nice break.
That was a great break. I had just enough time to make an extremely important bowel movement. In other news, Britney Spears was found dead today. They say she was standing on a train track where she had previously been hit by the train. And her last words were, "Baby, hit me one more time."
In other news, Killator doesn't know how to say song titles correctly.
In other news, I'm not a big Britney Spears fan. I did the best I could.
In other news, I'm a huge Britney Spears fan, and this news devastates me. I have a big Britney Spears mural tattooed on my back, and it's the bald Britney.
Oh, with the umbrella?
Yes.
Oh, God, that's my favorite Britney. Bald Britney with the umbrella. Oh, God, I wish they would make a commemorative action figure of that. I would buy one of those. Grimm is ecstatic right now. You probably can't hear him laughing under his mask, but he is. Oh, he's crying. Oh, he's crying. In other news, Grimm anchor of Corpse Circus Action News is currently crying tears of joy at the idea of a bald Britney Spears with an umbrella commemorative action figure, I should say.
Yes, and it's got that deluxe unfolding and folding umbrella.
Yeah. This is it's good news. I'm glad we got to be the ones to break this news.
Yes.
That this action figure now will
I am
be made.
super excited, and I've already pre-ordered 1,700 of them.
In other news, Back to the Future Part 4 is now in production.
Yes, and it takes place in prehistoric times.
That's right.
Because we all know that Killator loves dirty, grimy
Old times.
movies.
God, yeah.
You know, the less bathing, the better.
In other news, it's opposite day, and I totally love movies that take place in dirty prehistoric times. In other news, Carrot Top is now the new lead singer of Rage Against the Machine.
This is true.
That's right. When asked how he felt about his new frontman position for Rage Against the Machine, Carrot Top had to say this, and I quote, "Hi, my name is Carrot Top. This is totally legitimate news that you're being told right now, and I look forward to being in Rage Against the Machine. Oh, by the way, don't forget to pick up the new Corpse Circus album. That'll be coming out soon. Love that shit. Lunchbox, favorite cat ever. I love that guy too."
In other news.
End quote.
In other news, Lunchbox is really a man.
In other news, Michael Jackson has returned from the grave. He states, and I quote, "Hee hee." Welcome back, Michael.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another broadcast of In Other News. I'm the Grimm anchor.
I'm Killator last name, and I'd also like to thank our other co-anchors who are not important enough to talk right now. Lunchbox, Furgod, and of course, Jimmy 8 Legs.
Yes, and we wish you all a good night, and fuck you.
Yeah!